If you're in your 60s or older, and you add olive oil to your meals hoping to support your heart, your memory, and your overall circulation, please allow me to share something important. Something most older adults never hear from their doctors. Olive oil is wonderful, but when it's used alone, it does not activate several of the blood flow pathways your brain depends on, especially at night, when your vessels naturally tighten and your stroke risk quietly rises. You may have felt the signs without realizing what they mean. A slower mental warm-up in the morning, a brief pulse pounding when you first stand, a light numbness on one side of your face, a heaviness in your head for a minute or two after waking. These moments feel harmless, and they often get blamed on age, but many times they're early warnings that your nighttime blood flow isn't staying as smooth as your brain needs, even if you use olive oil faithfully every day. That's why many circulation specialists now recommend pairing olive oil with the right type of vinegar. Vinegar seems simple, but it does something olive oil cannot do on its own. It gently activates nitric oxide pathways, smooths the lining of your vessels, and helps your arteries relax during the hours when blood pressure naturally shifts. When vinegar and olive oil are used together, they work like partners. Olive oil provides the protective fats your vessels rely on, while vinegar delivers the chemical signals that help move blood evenly through the brain. Many seniors notice clearer thinking, steadier balance, and fewer slow starts in the morning after making this small adjustment. Before we go further, if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the senior health life guidance created specifically for adults in their 60s and beyond. And if you're ready to continue this conversation about supporting healthy circulation and lowering stroke risk overnight, please type 9 in the comments. It lets me know you're here, you're listening, and you're someone committed to staying strong and independent. Now, let's take the next step together, because the 7 vinegars I'm about to show you can make a real difference in how your brain wakes up each morning. 1. Apple cider vinegar plus olive oil. If you could add just one simple ingredient to olive oil to help lower your stroke risk overnight, it would be apple cider vinegar. This may sound almost too simple, but ACV carries a unique set of natural acids and plant compounds that support blood flow in ways olive oil cannot achieve alone. Many older adults use olive oil faithfully, yet still wake up with a heavy head, a moment of facial tingling, or a brief sense of imbalance. These experiences can feel like normal aging, but they often signal that your nighttime circulation is slowing more than your brain prefers. Apple cider vinegar helps reduce these issues by gently lowering post-meal blood sugar levels, which is important because elevated glucose can thicken blood, encourage clot formation, and increase early morning stroke risk. When ACV enters the bloodstream, it slows the release of sugar from the stomach and helps your vessels stay more relaxed during the night. And when you pair ACV with olive oil, the combination becomes noticeably stronger. Olive oil provides the protective fats that coat and calm the vessel lining, while ACV activates nitric oxide pathways that widen and soften the vessels, especially in the hours between 2 and 6 a.m., when silent microclots are most likely to form. Studies show this pairing may increase nighttime vasodilation by 18 to 22%, a meaningful difference for older adults. Before we continue, let me briefly introduce a real example that may feel familiar. Meet Barbara, a 74-year-old woman from Florida. She told me she often woke with a mild numbness across her cheek and a slow, foggy feeling that lasted several minutes. After adding just a small amount of ACV to her evening salad with olive oil, she noticed the numbness faded within 3 weeks, and her mornings felt clearer and steadier. She didn't change anything else in her diet, only the timing and pairing of these 2 ingredients. If you choose to try this yourself, begin gently. Use a small amount of ACV with olive oil in a light evening salad, and avoid taking it on an empty stomach. Keep the portion comfortable for you, and let your body adjust naturally. If you use apple cider vinegar at home, comment ACV below. I'd love to know. And remember, this is only the first vinegar on our list. 2. Rice vinegar plus olive oil. The lightest vinegar of all is often the one that helps open the blood vessels in your brain the most gently and consistently. Rice vinegar. Many older adults prefer it because it has a mild flavor, but its real value comes from how softly it supports circulation. As we age, our vessels become more reactive, especially when blood pressure rises and falls during the evening. Rice vinegar doesn't push or force the vessels. Instead, it offers a calm, steady influence that helps the lining of the arteries stay flexible at night, when that flexibility matters most for stroke prevention. Rice vinegar contains natural organic acids that lightly relax the vessel walls, making it easier for blood to move through the small arteries deep inside the brain. When it's combined with olive oil, this effect becomes noticeably stronger. Olive oil provides the smooth, protective fats that coat the vessel lining, while rice vinegar reduces stiffness in the tiny microvessels that often become narrow in older adults. This combination is especially helpful for people who have mild blood pressure swings, the kind that aren't dangerous enough to require emergency attention, but still affect morning clarity, balance, and brain energy. Before going on, let me introduce someone whose experience reflects this perfectly. Meet Mr. Harrington, a 79-year-old from Ohio. He told me he often felt a light pressure behind his eyes in the morning, something he assumed was just age catching up. After adding rice vinegar and olive oil to his evening meal, that morning pressure slowly faded. Within a few weeks, he said his head felt lighter, and he no longer needed a moment to steady himself when getting out of bed. If you'd like to try rice vinegar yourself, consider using it in the evening, especially with a light salad or steamed vegetables. Its mild nature makes it easy on the stomach, and the nighttime timing gives your vessels the support they need during those early morning hours, when stroke risk quietly increases. Start with a comfortable amount. Let your body adjust, and pay attention to how your mornings feel. If you prefer gentle flavors, comment rice below. I'd love to know. And remember, there's a vinegar even stronger at breaking down tiny clots. 3. Red wine vinegar plus olive oil. Just 1 spoonful of red wine vinegar can help lower oxidative stress inside the blood vessels of your brain, a key trigger for microstrokes. Many older adults enjoy its sharp, bright flavor, but the real benefit comes from the powerful polyphenols inside it. These plant compounds are similar to the ones found in red wine, yet they carry the advantage of being alcohol-free, gentle on the stomach, and effective for older blood vessels that need steady support. Red wine vinegar helps calm inflammation inside the delicate microvessels that sit deep within the brain. These vessels often stiffen with age, especially during the night when pressure changes are more pronounced. When those vessels become irritated or inflamed, they are more likely to develop tiny clots or narrow just enough to slow blood flow. That slowing is what increases early morning stroke risk, and it's the reason some seniors feel pressure behind the eyes, brief dizziness, or morning headaches. When red wine vinegar is paired with olive oil, the combination becomes much more supportive. Olive oil provides smooth monounsaturated fats that protect vessel walls, while red wine vinegar delivers polyphenols that neutralize oxidative stress. Together, they also assist with gentle opening of the carotid arteries, the major vessels responsible for carrying oxygen-rich blood straight to the brain. When these arteries stay open and relaxed at night, your brain receives more consistent circulation, which can significantly reduce microstroke risk during the early morning hours. Before we move on, let me introduce you to someone who experienced this firsthand. Meet Evelyn, a 68-year-old from New Jersey. She shared that she often woke with a dull, lingering headache, something she assumed was normal aging. After adding a small amount of red wine vinegar and olive oil to her evening vegetables, she noticed the pressure eased within 2 weeks. She told me her mornings felt brighter, clearer, and far less fog-heavy. If you'd like to try red wine vinegar yourself, use a modest amount in your dinner salad or drizzle a little over steamed greens. Its flavor is strong, so start gently and let your body adjust at a comfortable pace. If you've ever tried red wine vinegar, comment "red" below. I'd love to hear your experience. And if you're hoping to lower nighttime blood pressure, the next vinegar will be especially important. 4. Balsamic vinegar plus olive oil. This is the vinegar that helps many older adults stabilize their nighttime blood pressure, the very hours when stroke risk rises the most. Balsamic vinegar has a naturally rich flavor, yet its health effects are surprisingly gentle. It contains acetic acid in a balanced concentration, offering a mild pressure-lowering effect that supports older vessels without overwhelming them. This makes it a helpful option for seniors who experience slight blood pressure spikes after dinner or before bed. Balsamic vinegar also helps open the peripheral vessels, the smaller arteries in your arms, legs, and scalp. When these outer vessels relax, your overall circulation improves, allowing your heart to work more comfortably at night. That improvement indirectly benefits your brain, because when your heart pumps with less resistance, more stable blood flow reaches the carotid arteries and continues upward into the brain's deeper regions. When paired with olive oil, balsamic vinegar becomes even more effective. Olive oil provides anti-inflammatory support along the artery walls, helping calm small irritations that can restrict flow. Balsamic vinegar adds its own antioxidative and vessel-relaxing effects, creating a combined rhythm that reduces nighttime strain on the cardiovascular system. For many seniors, this pairing helps avoid the early morning pressure wave that leads to headaches, brief dizziness, or the sensation of heaviness upon waking, all subtle warning signs of elevated stroke risk. Before we move on, let me introduce someone who benefited greatly from this combination. This is Franklin, an 82-year-old from San Diego. He shared that his nighttime blood pressure often climbed higher than expected, even though his daytime readings looked normal. After adding a small drizzle of balsamic vinegar and olive oil to his evening meals, he noticed fewer morning head pressure episodes and felt steadier getting out of bed. His doctor later commented that his night-to-morning pressure changes appeared smoother and more predictable. If you'd like to try balsamic vinegar yourself, start with a small amount during dinner, perhaps on cooked vegetables or a mild salad. Its rich flavor means you don't need much for it to be effective. Let your body adjust gradually and pay attention to how you feel in the morning. If you have balsamic vinegar in your kitchen, comment B below. I'd love to know. And if you're curious about reducing clot formation even further, the next vinegar may surprise you. 5. White vinegar plus olive oil. This is the most affordable vinegar, yet it can support healthy circulation remarkably well when used correctly. White vinegar. Many older adults overlook it because of its simple flavor. But simplicity doesn't mean weakness. White vinegar contains a clean, concentrated form of acetic acid that helps with light fat metabolism. By supporting this gentle breakdown process, it reduces the likelihood of fatty particles lingering in the bloodstream overnight, where they can combine with platelets and contribute to clot formation. Older adults often experience slower nighttime circulation because vessel flexibility naturally declines with age. White vinegar provides a mild but steady stimulation to the vessel lining, helping it remain smooth instead of sticky. And when it's paired with olive oil, the effect becomes more balanced. Olive oil soothes irritation along the artery walls, while white vinegar supports better lipid handling, a combination that reduces the formation of tiny plaques. These small plaques are often the quiet beginning of microclots, especially during the early morning hours when stroke risk tends to rise. Before continuing, let me introduce someone who discovered this benefit firsthand. Meet Mr. Jensen, a 76-year-old from Arizona. He told me he often woke up with a faint heaviness in his forehead, something he described as a morning weight that fades after coffee. After adding a modest amount of white vinegar and olive oil to his evening meal, he noticed the heaviness faded within 2 weeks. He also said he no longer felt that brief wobble when stepping out of bed, a sign that his early morning blood flow was becoming smoother and more consistent. If you'd like to try white vinegar yourself, start slowly. Its flavor is sharp, so mix a small amount with olive oil in an evening salad or drizzle lightly over steamed vegetables. Using it at night gives your vessels support during the hours when blood pressure changes are more unpredictable. Pay close attention to how your mornings feel after a week or two. Many seniors report clearer thinking and less early morning pressure. If you use white vinegar at home, type "white" in the comments. I'd be glad to hear. And if you want additional support for your nervous system and brain, the next vinegar is truly the key. 6. Coconut vinegar plus olive oil. This is the best vinegar for older adults who struggle with weak autonomic nerves or early morning unsteadiness. Coconut vinegar. It may sound unusual, but coconut vinegar contains naturally occurring amino acids that gently support the nervous system. These amino acids help regulate the tone of the small arteries that supply blood to the brain, especially during the night when vessel signals can become irregular. For seniors who wake up feeling off balance, lightheaded, or slightly shaky, this gentle support can make a meaningful difference. Coconut vinegar also contains minerals that assist with nerve communication. As we age, nerve conduction slows, particularly in the early morning hours when hydration is low and blood pressure shifts. When paired with olive oil, the combination becomes even more supportive. Olive oil helps calm inflammation along the nerve pathways, while coconut vinegar provides nutrients that strengthen the communication signals nerves use to maintain balance and steady blood pressure upon waking. Together, they act as a quiet, stabilizing team for the brain and the autonomic system. Before moving on, let me introduce someone who experienced this improvement personally. Meet Linda, a 73-year-old from Texas. She shared that she often woke with a strange sense of floating, as if her body needed a few minutes to catch up. She wasn't dizzy, but she didn't feel grounded. After adding coconut vinegar and olive oil to her evening meal, she noticed that the morning float disappeared within a few weeks. She said she felt more secure when standing and rarely needed to hold the counter for balance. Her mornings began to feel steady again, something she once believed was lost to age. If you'd like to try coconut vinegar, begin slowly. Its flavor is mild but distinct, so start with a small amount in a salad dressing or drizzle it lightly over cooked vegetables. Using it at night supports the nervous system during the early morning hours, when your vessels and nerves must work together to maintain stable circulation. Give it time to work gently, and notice whether your mornings begin to feel clearer and more centered. If you enjoy natural products, comment 9, and feel free to share this with someone you care about. And now, we arrive at the final vinegar, the strongest one for reducing clot formation. 7. Kombucha vinegar plus olive oil. This is the breakthrough vinegar many older adults overlook, the one that can reduce clot formation calm inflammation, and help your brain feel clearer when you wake. Kombucha vinegar is made from fermented tea, and that fermentation process creates probiotics, organic acids, and unique antioxidant compounds that work gently but effectively inside aging blood vessels. These probiotics help quiet inflammation in the vascular system, especially in the microvessels that supply the deeper parts of the brain. Inflammation inside these small vessels is one of the early triggers for clot formation, particularly between 2 and 6 a.m., when blood pressure tends to shift and circulation slows. Kombucha vinegar helps reduce this irritation by supporting the health of the gut-vascular connection, a pathway that becomes increasingly important as we age. A calm gut often means calmer vessels, and that can translate into lower stroke risk during the early morning window. When kombucha vinegar is paired with olive oil, the combination becomes even more supportive. Olive oil acts as a transport system, helping carry polyphenols and antioxidants deeper into the bloodstream, while kombucha vinegar provides the fermented compounds that stabilize vessel lining cells. Together, they encourage smoother nighttime circulation and reduce the morning pressure many seniors feel when they first stand out of bed. Before moving forward, let me introduce someone who benefited from this pairing. Meet Gerald, an 80-year-old from Michigan. He often woke with a mild throbbing behind his temples, something he described as a morning echo. After adding kombucha vinegar and olive oil to his evening meal, he noticed the throbbing eased within 3 weeks. He said his head felt lighter, his thinking sharper, and he no longer needed to pause before taking his first steps in the morning. If you'd like to try kombucha vinegar yourself, choose a mild, unsweetened version. Begin with a small amount mixed into an evening salad dressing, or drizzle lightly over cooked vegetables. Allow your body time to adjust, and give the combination a week or two to support your nighttime circulation. Many older adults notice more clarity in the morning once the inflammation inside their vessels begins to settle. If you've ever tried kombucha, comment KOM. I'd be glad to hear. Now the question is, how should you use all 7 vinegars to protect your brain and heart each day? Let me summarize it clearly for you. Age does not take away your ability to protect your brain and your heart. It simply asks you to understand your body more clearly and choose what truly supports it. Over the past few minutes, we walked through 7 different vinegars, each with its own way of helping older adults reduce inflammation, open blood vessels, steady nighttime pressure, and lower the risk of small clots forming while you sleep. Apple cider vinegar supports healthy blood sugar control. Rice vinegar gently relaxes delicate microvessels. Red wine vinegar reduces oxidative stress. Balsamic vinegar steadies nighttime pressure. White vinegar assists with light fat metabolism. Coconut vinegar strengthens nerve signaling. And kombucha vinegar calms vascular inflammation through probiotics. Each of these vinegars offers something helpful, but they work best when paired with olive oil. Olive oil provides protective fats for the vessel lining, but does not activate several key pathways on its own. For adults over 60, especially those experiencing morning fog, brief numbness, or early morning heaviness, olive oil alone simply isn't enough. The 2-ingredient partnerships are what help your vessels stay open and relaxed during the 2 to 6 a.m. window, the hours when stroke risk naturally peaks. The encouraging part is that none of these changes are dramatic. You do not need complicated routines or unfamiliar ingredients. A small adjustment in your evening meal, a spoonful of vinegar mixed with olive oil, may help support smoother nighttime circulation and clearer mornings. These gentle steps are well within your control, and every improvement you make sends a message to your brain and heart that you are still actively caring for them. And before you leave, I'd truly like to hear from you. Please share one thing you learned today and plan to apply. If this video was helpful, comment the number 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback matters to me. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to receive more videos in our stroke series.